Greetings. My name is Jake. I make 5e compatible supplements over on Patreon, and I talk about all things RPG here on YouTube. Noah, an intellectual property lawyer, goes by MyLawyerFriend online, recently had a discussion with Ted on Nerd Immersion, and they covered topics of the OGL 1.2. There are a few areas that they cover that I would like to talk about and try to clarify and give you my opinion. First, you'll hear a brief clip establishing who Noah is. And then they're going to begin by talking about the Creative Commons portion of the license.
So hi guys, I'm Noah Downs. I'm a lawyer, but I like to say I'm a cool lawyer. I am a gamer, and I actually work in the gaming industry full time. That's what I do. I represent publishers, creators, both in digital and tabletop gaming. What's interesting is that this is kind of a nothing burger, if I'm being honest, because game mechanics are not copyrightable.
WotC is stating here that they're providing the game mechanics of Dungeons & Dragons for free perpetually through a Creative Commons license, attribution license. But it doesn't really mean anything because they couldn't copyright the game mechanics in the beginning. So I'm not really sure what they're trying to say they're giving to us.
Exactly. And what's really interesting about that is that it's good to have a license to that, rather than just rely on pure nuts and bolts copyright law, because then what you can do is you can say, hey, you know what? I know I can look at this piece of paper that's, is the Creative Commons for Attribution 4.0 International. And I can say, this allows me to use this, rather than saying the law says I can, but does Wizards disagree?
I suppose it's a little bit of peace of mind because WotC is saying, yes, we agree, this is okay. I don't know what else to say about that. It seems like they're not saying anything at all. Repeatedly, Wizards of the Coast has made statements that seem as though they are intended to make people feel good, when really the things that they're stating aren't making a concrete difference or improving anything. And so I would take anytime that they say something in a positive manner with a grain of salt. Just analyze it. See if it holds true to logic. One thing I noticed about this version is it seems much more logical and more free of feeling statements. So it seems as though more care was put into it. It was more objectively written.
I'll be honest, this was when I realized that this was going to be a better document overall. This license made great strides. It clearly, Wizards listened to the community, whether it was because of the wallet attack or not.
I like the way you put that.
But this is when I realized this is going to be a much better license, because it's not poorly written.
I kind of like his sarcasm right there. Like he got really close to the microphone to say that. It was important to him. Like many of us, when we first saw the word irrevocable, when I saw it, I was like, okay, that's really cool. I wish they had put that in the 1.0A, but they're putting it here. That's positive, right? I don't know. It sounds kind of odd. And then I heard this and it clarified a lot.
And finally, they're saying it is irrevocable. However, they changed the meaning of irrevocable, which...
How is that possible?
So, because they redefine it. So here's the thing. A legal term can be redefined in a specific contract if both parties agree to it. Meaning that if you and I agree that irrevocable means something different than what it normally means, and it's written down in the contract, that's fine. If you look at the Starting the OGL playtest blog post that they put out 7 hours ago now, it literally says, third, this license specifically includes the word irrevocable. What it does not say is that this license is irrevocable. Because it's not.
Even though they used the word irrevocable, they left themselves a way out to revoke the license for someone in particular, or for one product in particular, or later we'll hear to cancel the entire 1.2.
What they've said here now is that it's irrevocable with regard to specific content. So if you draft it and publish an adventure under 1.2 tomorrow, and 1.2 is revoked on Saturday, then that adventure you released under 1.2 is safe, but you can't use 1.2 again because it's been revoked.
Not exactly heartwarming, I know. It could have been unintentional, but they're paying lawyers. So I think they would be really specific about what they want. and make that happen with their words on the page.
And if you think that we have made something that is a little too similar, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or that one of our licensees, might have accidentally stolen your content, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, then you cannot force us to take it down. You can only sue us for money.
Unfortunately, under this license, Wizards of the Coast can copy your work perfectly, and you can never stop them from printing it. You can get money from them, but not only will you not get credit, they will keep your work and they can make derivations of it as well. Kind of means the creator is out of luck.
Changing the then current style guidelines gives them a lot of leeway if they want to be really shitty about it. They could say this is a product produced and owned by Wizards, even if it's not. And then, that would never work. They would never do that, to be honest. Like, I don't even think in a million dreams they would.
This is one of those instances where I want more clarity, more specificity. Okay, so they can change the style guidelines. Yes, we don't know what that means. We may never know what that means. And I want some more clarity on that. Some specific guidelines that they have to follow. Some things that they are allowed to change about it and some things they're not. It's not really, again, it's not specific enough for me. It gives too much freedom. It's sad that my answers to this would be a little different if they had kept the respect and goodwill and love of the community the whole way through.
Wizards is the arbiter of everything here. They can say that, hey, your hateful conduct, Nerd Immersion, is that you made this video and screw you. You can't contest that in court.
This is the section that I have the biggest problem on. Wizards of the Coast shouldn't be a moral arbiter about anything. Because they're a company. They've made mistakes. They've tried to cover it up. They've tried to show that they care. They've tried to make amends for their mistakes. But they shouldn't have unilateral rights to dictate what's okay and what isn't okay for someone in their personal life or for something that they've written into a product that they then try to sell. It's just not their business. I really only have one complaint about virtual tabletop policy that they wrote down, that it seems to make an unfair marketplace. It lets them corner the market, have a monopoly on people that are going to want to use virtual tabletops and include Dungeons & Dragons material. It just doesn't seem right, because then other content creators can't step in and make something that's useful or creative as well. Not only is it not fair from a monetary perspective, and other businesses, I believe, should have opportunities where Wizards of the Coast also has opportunities, but we're missing out on creativity of people who are not Wizards of the Coast. Okay, actually, I do have one other problem with this. Where do you draw the line between animation and tabletop experience? Like, I understand spell effects, okay, but like an NPC walking down the street, wind blowing through leaves on a flat map that is the animation that just repeats? Is that okay? Maybe not. What about having a character sheet on Roll20 that automatically tallies up my hit points or my attack bonus? Is that animated? I don't know. They really need to be specific in what people can't do? Or we're just going to have to guess and then they will stop us, which could raise lawsuits. We just need more clarity, Wizards. Really. Pull out your divination spells. I don't think anybody can predict with certainty at all what's going to happen with Dungeons & Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, or open gaming licenses that are being created right now. Yes, we'll all work on them, but we really have no idea how this is going to shape up. There's a lot of frustration out there, and confusion. It all makes sense to have. These are uncertain times for people who want to be able to use their creative energies to produce something that's beautiful and will bring joy to others. We don't know how we're going to be able to do it yet. Not exactly. So we're going to be continuing to look into open game system options. I'm going to be talking about a comparison between D&D 5e and Pathfinder 2e to see what the main differences are and how difficult it would be to transfer over if you wanted to. In any event, you might end up with a game system that works better for you, or at least that works better for creators.